What is up, Bills Mafia? This is the Go Bills podcast back for another edition. And what a dominant performance that we have in week one. Football is finally here, guys, and this was a electric game by the Buffalo Bills, something that you don't normally see from them. But what a good halftime adjustments by the Bills to come out of this game with a 31 to 10 lead over the Los Angeles Rams. A dominant performance in the second half by the Buffalo Bills, and just a fantastic way to finish up week one. This is a game that the Bills struggled from the beginning with turnovers and stuff like that, but we did find a way to get back into the game, get back on the band, and find a way to finish this up. But overall, I'm really, really happy with what I've seen out of the Bills in this game. Overall, I really liked what the offense did. The offense was phenomenal from the start, starting off excellent, but just the turnovers were the biggest problem for the Bills in this game. The fumble by James Cook really killed us. We had a really good drive going on, and then we just stalled because of the fumble. And then we also have the two interceptions by Josh Allen and the Zach Moss fumble as well. Could have led to almost an extra 28 points that we lost. So this could have been a dominant game where it was a blowout and we played the backups in this game, but that wasn't the case. On defense, I really loved everything that we saw on defense from the Bills. 7 sacks, you cannot be upset with that at all. That's great stats to have. I really liked what I saw all the way around. Von Miller looks so good in the Bills uniform. He sacked his former quarterback in Matthew Stafford twice in this game. On Instagram, we talked about my thoughts on and predictions for the game. I predicted that Greg Rousseau and Von Miller would have 2 sacks or 3 sacks in this game, and it ended up being, let me pull it up real quick, the defensive stats. Ended up being 3, so we did get there, guys. That's great. Got there with the sacks. We had 7 sacks overall on the game. Just dominant numbers. Von Miller leading the way with 2 sacks in this game. Jordan Phillips having a sack and a half in this game. And then Carlos Boogie Basham with 1 sack. Greg Rousseau also with a sack there. So great numbers overall by the defensive line. Really liked everything that I saw out of them. Loved the enthusiasm by Jordan Phillips. Loved the way that he got into the backfield and was a dominant force, just like he was a couple years ago for us. Back to the normal Jordan Phillips that we saw, the 9.5 sacks Jordan Phillips. A little bit of a head scratcher that we had that Shaq Lawson was inactive for this game, but really overall, really liked what I saw out of the defensive line. Hopefully we can get Shaq on the field a little bit, get him a couple of sacks as well. Really loved what I saw out of the cornerbacks as well. The cornerbacks stepped up big. They had huge shoes to fill in this game, and they filled those holes pretty darn well. Dane Jackson getting an interception in this game, which was great. Really liked to see that. I also really liked that the way that Kaiir Elam played in this game. While he wasn't the starter going into the game, he did fill in pretty good holes, and I really liked the way that he was tackling in this game, going in really, really hard for tackles. Christian Benford also had a great game in this one, was a dominant force as well, coming in for a few tackles for loss, as well as a couple of short gains on the play. Really looked good in coverage as well. I did see one play where he was a little bit grabby, so he has to learn how to not use his hands, just like Kaiir Elam needs to do as well. But overall, really liked what I saw out of the cornerbacks in this game. I thought that the defensive game plan in this game was pretty good, other than one area that I think we should have focused a little bit more on, which was covering Cooper Kupp. I didn't think the Bills did a good job of covering Cooper Kupp in this game. You needed to put 2 guys on Cooper Kupp in this game, and the Bills failed to do that. He ended up going for 13 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown in this game. But I think the Bills could have done a better job of containing him in this game. Even though we did have Trey White out of this game, we could have done more for this. I know that the safeties could have helped over the top, and we could have done a lot more to stop Cooper Kupp. On the other side of the line, the Bills did a really good job of stopping Allen Robinson. He wasn't even on the stat board in this game. Actually, he is. He only had one catch for 12 yards in this game. So Christian Benford and Kaiir Elam did a really good job of covering him. It didn't look like Matthew Stafford wanted to go their way, but they ended up going at Dane Jackson in this game a lot. So that's one area that I think we need to fix a little bit, is making sure that we're not giving the top target for the offense a chance to just take us down the field and get 120, 125 yards in this game. Overall, Josh Allen goes for 26 for 31 for 297 yards, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Great numbers from Josh Allen. Really liked what I saw out of him. Really liked that he was able to utilize those checkdowns as well. That's an area that the Bills needed to work on a lot with him. He did an excellent job of utilizing those. But the other thing that I really liked out of him was he was determined if there was a blitz coming, he was going to stop that blitz. If Aaron Donald was getting in the backfield or there was another pass rusher that was in his face, he was able to step into those throws and just go for those throws. Really liked how he was leading his receivers as well with his throws, making sure that they could get as much yards after contact off of those throws as well. So that was a really good area that Josh did a good job of. The turnovers were the area that's my cause for concern. One of those throws was an issue with communication, in my opinion, between Jamison Crowder and Josh Allen. The other one was just a ball that Isaiah McKenzie should have had, so I don't blame that so much on Josh Allen. But again, you do need to take care of the ball. You need to make sure that the ball stays in the offense's hands and leads to points. So that's an area of concern for me a little bit. Overall, in the rushing attack, the Bills were led by Josh Allen, which is an area of concern for me. Allen had 10 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown in this game. Devin Singletary goes for 8 carries for 48 yards, no touchdowns. Zach Moss has 6 carries for 15 yards, and James Cook has 1 carry for 2 yards. So the running backs didn't really do a good job in this game getting carries. I really would have liked to have seen a few more carries from the offense. I think that's an area that Ken Dorsey can really work on this year, making sure the running backs get enough carries. As far as receivers, the Bills were led by Stephon Diggs, who had 8 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. Then Gabe Davis, who had 4 catches for 88 yards and that touchdown, as well as the long pass from Josh Allen, which could have potentially been the second touchdown for Gabe Davis in this game. Jamison Crowder goes for 3 catches for 28 yards. Zach Moss, 6 catches for 21 yards. Isaiah McKenzie, 2 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown. Devin Singletary, 2 catches for 14 yards. And Dawson Knox with 1 catch for 5 yards. So the Bills did a really good job of moving the ball around and making sure that all the playmakers were getting the ball. One area of concern that I thought the Bills should have targeted a little bit more, which they didn't, was going after the middle of the field, which was an area that I thought that the defense of the Rams could have been exploited a little bit more. I think Knox could have been targeted a little bit more, but the 1 catch for 5 yards was pretty good. I really liked that. But I did think that that's an area that the Bills should have targeted a little bit more. And especially going forward in games against the Colts coming up. We also have a game against the Tennessee Titans coming up too. I think that's an area that we should exploit, is the middle of the field, utilizing our tight end as well as the slot receivers. So I think that that's going to be an area that we should have focused on a little bit more. I did like the way that Jamison Crowder came out of the gates. He looked really good in zone coverage. So I think that this could be an area where the Bills utilize that slot position with Isaiah McKenzie as more of the man coverage guy, and then Jamison Crowder being the zone coverage guy in that case. As far as the defensive numbers overall, again, really good numbers overall by the defense. Really liked what I saw out of Tremaine Edmonds as well. I liked his tackling ability. I thought that he was getting all over the field. Him and Matt Milano looked like they were gelling really good together, so I really liked that. Like I said, I really liked what I saw out of the defense overall, so good things going there. No punts in this game, so we did not see Sam Martin in this game. It's probably going to be the same case going forward. I don't think there's going to be many punts in this game, so no punts in this game. We had one field goal by Tyler Bass for 41 yards and one punt return in this game for 21 yards as well. So we had a 41-yard field goal as well. But really good numbers by the Bills. I felt like the offensive play calling was really good. Liked everything that I saw. But overall, I do think that the Bills need to work on keeping the ball in their hands, eliminating those turnovers, making sure that the penalties are a little less. There's some penalties that I think we could have fixed a lot of. But an overall really good game by the Bills. And I think that this is a good start to the year. A couple areas that we could definitely fix, but I think this is a really good start, and we have a really good defense going forward. And potentially, at this rate, we're looking at probably about 126 sacks on the year. So that's pretty good numbers by the Bills. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but I mean, it would be nice to have over 100 sacks, wouldn't it? But really good stuff from the Bills. Really liked what I saw. And this is going to be a fantastic year, guys. Don't forget to follow us on all social media. You can follow us at the Go Bills Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And don't forget to follow the Fantasy Football Network as well on Instagram. You can find them at fantasy_football_network. And don't forget to download their app right now. You can find them on the App Store at Fantasy Football Network. And you can find all Bills-related content on that app now. And don't forget that we have a 50% off coupon on there as well for you guys. To get 50% off your first year of membership, use our promo code SCOUT to get 50% off your membership. This has been the Go Bills Podcast, and we will see you guys next week with some awesome content on the Bills versus Tennessee Titans game that's coming up on Monday Night Football. Until next time, guys, this has been the Go Bills Podcast, and we will see you very soon.